Planning is the most critical aspect, or, well, I should say one of the two most critical aspects to doing anything. You can't just start to go out there and wing it. You have to know what you're doing. Many people fail because there are no plans to follow. I mean, can you imagine if you were going to build a house or build anything? Let's say you bought something at IKEA, one of their famous flat box bookcases, and there were no directions. There are no plans for you to follow to put that piece together. Yeah, you may be able to figure it out, but it would probably be a little more difficult, and it's only because maybe you put together many before, you know what it looks like. But when you get into something that's a little more complex, you have to understand what it is that you're doing. So you need a business plan. And there are a few components, 5, plus I'm going to give you a bonus comment at the end as well. But I want to go over the 5 components after giving you a great quote from Abraham Lincoln. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time, because a lot of people, what they do is they're going to run out to that tree with a dull axe and whack it in the, vertically instead of sharpening it and going horizontally, meaning they're not really prepared for the job. The most important, for me, aspect of this quote is the more prepared you are, the more easily successful you will accomplish your task, or the more easily you will accomplish your task and be more successful. So if you have a really sharp axe, it's going to make your job a lot easier. So to any agents out there on this call, you need to make sure your axe is razor sharp. Because I've seen many agents run out with a dull axe and get frustrated and tired and have financial difficulty because they weren't really prepared entirely. And what happens is we tend to think, yeah, I could do this. And you just get into it. And we only sometimes look at, when it's a really good opportunity, at all the good, not necessarily all of the work that is involved. We tend to look at it as this very surface thing of, oh yeah, people are going to sign up, open enrollment, excellent, I could do this, I got to get my license. And we forget all of the substance that is involved in becoming a sales professional. So preparation is obviously key in any planning, which is why it's called a business plan. It's planning your business. It's very simple. So the first thing you need to do is have a vision. As in, what are you creating? Let's say it's a lemonade stand. You're creating a lemonade stand. That's your vision. It's your dream. It's your goal, whatever the vision is. The example I like to use, and I'm going to be using in our book because I want people to just see a totally abstract example unrelated to insurance so that you can do your own in insurance. But the example I'm going to use is a bake shop. But the vision is not just a bake shop. The vision is a bake shop that will be the first of an international franchise and will offer healthy, unique recipes to consumers, all while providing entrepreneurial opportunities to empower others. So that's a franchise. That would be the overall vision. Where do you really want this to go? Is it an insurance agency that eventually you're going to be able to sell your book of business? What is the ultimate goal and vision? It's not what the vision is, it's what the vision does. So that's what's important. It's not necessarily what your vision is, meaning a dream. What does it do? What does that vision do for you eventually or immediately? So keeping that in mind as to how to design your vision. And I would write it on a whiteboard. If you're old school, take a notepad out and just write out the vision. If you want to do it on the computer, that's fine as well. The second component is the mission, meaning you created the vision or your target or your goal. What is the purpose of this business? So I got another great quote I love here. It's not the time for you to dream, it's the time for you to accomplish the mission. So the mission is, you have this goal. Now what is the purpose? Meaning, going back to the bake shop, it would be to fulfill a baking passion while bringing opportunities to the public, because it's a franchise, so that they have their own businesses while having the support of an established, successful business. Now that I would like to compare to AHCP, an established, successful company giving support to insurance agents. Now, what would your mission be? Is your mission to provide unbelievable customer service to people who are confused about open enrollment and the ACA, what is your actual mission? What is it you want the purpose to be that you are here and doing this job? What is it? You need to clarify that for you based on your heart, your mentality, your integrity. It has to be your purpose that coincides with your vision. Excuse me. The next step. Objectives are basically what steps do you need to take so that you can launch your vision properly and carry out your mission, right? So it sounds like we have orders going on, right? Here's the vision. If it was military, we're going to attack France, right? Sorry if anyone's French. It just popped in my head. And then the mission is we're going to go in and populate the area with government, right? And now here are the objectives or our target goals. We're going to start in the south of France, right? You see where I'm heading? It's a crazy example, but it works in almost anything you're going to do planning-wise. Getting back to the cupcake bake shop, they want to become known, let's say, as the cupcake place. That's an objective. They want to finalize recipes. They want to find a prime location for their first spot. They need to hire employees, et cetera, et cetera. When you're looking at insurance, maybe you do want to hire a telemarketer. Maybe you need to clarify your objectives, because a lot of times we don't know necessarily what our tasks are besides, we have to call clients and try and sell insurance. But the more defined your objectives or targets are, the more clearly you're able to accomplish them. So you want to start to write out a bit of a list of, okay, what are my objectives? Like, let's say you're new to this business. Well, I need to start to learn a technology about maybe a quoting tool or a dialer or how to submit business online. It could be as simple as that. If you're a little more savvy, maybe you need to start learning, hey, I need to start working social media. I need to find out something that can allow me to post automatically, which is what I do. I have posts go up probably right now while we're talking, and I don't have to do anything except pre-schedule it. So there are a lot of areas, wherever it is you need to allow you to have this mission come to fruition, right? Have that vision come to fruition through your burning desire, your passion, whatever it is. You need to have clear objectives, targets, or goals. In a company, hundreds of decisions get made, but objectives and goals are thin. And this is really true. When an insurance agent jumps on, some people don't even have a monetary goal. They kind of base their monetary goal on their bills. And I've sat down when I was hiring at an agency, and they'd say, so, hey, how much you want to make per year? And they'd say, well, my bills, I need to make about 50 grand or 75 grand, whatever it was. And I would say, so you only want to pay your bills? You don't want to go above and beyond your bills? And it's an interesting mindset, as we kind of think like, okay, we want to make just enough money. This is a business where you can make more than enough. However, you can't do just enough to make more than enough. You have to do more than enough in order to earn more than enough. And there was a really interesting study where they took a group of people and they had two jobs that they could choose from. One was about $60,000 a year salary with, certain requirements. The other one was over $100,000 a year in salary with certain requirements. And they made sure that everyone in this test was qualified for the $100,000 a year job. And about 90-something%, I don't remember exactly, all said they would apply for the $60,000 job. Why? Maybe they didn't think they could get, earn or deserve the $100,000. Maybe they felt, that's easier to get. So I don't want anyone to settle when they're creating this business plan, because you deserve to prosper. And when you prosper, you can teach other people that it's possible to prosper. You can position yourself to have a better life, better health, travel, enjoy things more. That's the beauty of this residual-based business. So I want you to keep in mind to expand your vision, your mission, the objectives, and, of course, the next thing we're going to talk about is strategies. Because you have to figure out how to do some things as well. Like how, when you have an objective of saying, I want to be the best insurance company, how? So getting back to the bake cupcake shop idea, some of the things I came up with, because it's a fictitious business, I just created it as a completely different example. But I was thinking create and publish YouTube videos. showing recipes or testing designs, through the YouTube channels that people do now. If any of you guys aren't doing that, it's a great way to, promo through your social media. I was thinking if I could have people taste testing, but then turn them into long-term customers, maybe by offering like VIP pricing. So there are things you can do, how you can relate, make your customers feel special as part of your strategies as to how you're going to hit these targets. A couple of other things like rent a kiosk in the mall for the first few months just to get the name out of your cupcake factory. Partner with some food chains, same way we would look at partnering with, say, an accountant or something like that. So what you want to do basically is, okay, I created these little targets. Now strategizing is saying, how will I reach these targets, right? Like I want to have 5 storefronts in the next 10 years. How am I going to do that? Well, I have to establish one and be successful and decide how much money I'm going to take out of that one to invest in another. Or maybe I'm going to have somebody else run it for me under my name as a franchise. A lot of times you'll see out here, Mindy's Hair Salon, and then you'll see Mindy's Hair Salon East, and then you'll see Mindy's Hair Salon West, because Mindy has branched out. And again, I'm making this up, but I will see names like that where it's like, hey, there's, Via Parma 2, a restaurant. That's an actual example. I'm not sure if I got the name right, but I've seen this Italian restaurant in more than one location. So these are the things you need to really start formulating, because this is a business and it's your business. That's the most important part. This is your business, your responsibility to grow it and understand how to run it. Because if you are planning on getting bigger, you need to own it and be the owner and learn how to lead other people, or at least inspire other people, or at least pay them properly so that they will keep working for you. So that's another one. Here's another great quote. Leaders establish the vision for the future and set the strategy for getting there, because I can't just say, hey, go and do this without telling you how, unless I've hired you and you're a total rock star, and like we brought in Paul for social media and he's like knows these things that we don't, and that's the idea. However, some of the time you will need to instruct people in how to get there, which is hopefully what I am doing today on this call about building your business plan. The 5th point is what I call time for action. Basically, and this correlates to if anyone saw me doing the session, how to set your SMART goals. You need to set deadlines for every task that you have to do. Meaning if you need to learn a product, you want to do it in 1 week or 2 weeks. You want to learn how to submit policies by when. What we often do is things just float, right? They're just in space. We don't have anything nailed down, anything defined, no schedule set, and things fall through the cracks because there are interruptions that can happen. So the more you can create a timeline and deadlines, the more effective you will always be. So the quote is for this one, in short, you can't let the deadline define the mission. The mission has to define the duration, from Richard Holbrooke. And that's important. You have to remember, you are going to allow the duration define the mission, meaning, do you want to be a $150,000 agency or $1 million agency or a $5 million agency in 12 months? Meaning you're going to let the duration be defined by the mission, right? And allow that to drive you. And that is the goal you're going to slowly but surely get to. I wrote an article one time. I called it was about how I compared when they do a fundraiser and they have that like thermometer that will show you levels of where the money's at when they're raising funds. I called it fundraising your sales. That's an amazing example of how to chart your progress as to when you're achieving the monetary goal. And if that monetary goal is not there in the progress, how do you know what to do? People wouldn't know what money they needed to give. People wouldn't say, hey, we're so close, let's make that final push. It would just be arbitrary. And that's what happens to a lot of us in sales, is we're kind of just going through the motions, money's coming in, we're okay with that. But we're not necessarily crushing the goal and realizing the true vision and potential. So the last tip I want to add is what I'm going to call capital M. It's money. It's the investment you will need to make, not only your time, but there probably should be somewhere in your business plan how are you going to define what money is going to go where. If $1,000 comes in, where is it going? Is $100 going into leads, Are you going to donate a portion of it? Are you going to pay X amount of bills with it? Are you going to think about putting something away so that eventually you're going to rent a location? Whatever it is, you need to keep track of your finances when it comes to your business and your life, of course. So I want you to start to be aware of when money starts coming in, or if money's coming in now, because I know many of you have it already, aren't just starting out, where it's going to go so that you can sustain your business. And maybe down, 3 months from now, you want to buy a phone system, whatever it is. You want to start to chart all of this out so that now you can start to see the puzzles complete the picture of your entire business plan.